Welcome to Realty Uncut. Our daily shows are powered by CoreLogic and supported by Printforce and realty.com.au.
Hello and welcome to Realty Uncut. I'm your host, Sadhna Smiles, and joining me this week is Hayley Mitchell from Mitchell PT. And when we come back after our short break, I'll be talking to Hayley about preparing the rent roll for sale.
Your business card is a vital selling tool and a constant visual reminder of who you are, what you do, and more importantly, how you can be contacted. Introducing our new Velvet business cards, featuring a luxurious premium laminate that has a velvet texture and is soft to the touch. Printed on a resilient 450 GSM card, these cards can be printed with a range of spot gloss and foiling options to give your office that prestigious look.
Hayley, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Now, yesterday we talked about the valuation and what impacts it. And one of the things I'm intrigued about, if I've made the decision to sell and I have to do the preparation around it, should I do all the prep 2 or 3 months before I take the rent roll to market or get it valued? Because, if I've got items that are outstanding that you talked about yesterday, they're outstanding, I need to get them up to date. What's the lead time into getting it up to date to make sure the valuation goes up?
To be honest, I'd say 6 to 12 months is where you kind of need to be. In my mind, you kind of always want to be prepared for sale, because particularly with things like documentation, I go in and do due diligence on a lot of rent rolls and their authorities are incorrect. Now, you can't assign an authority that's incorrect. So let's say you were 2 to 3 months out from a sale and you had a rent roll of 500 and 200 of those didn't have correct authorities. That's 200 authorities you need to get re-signed with those clients before you can then transition that rent roll for sale. So my first step is authorities, and they should be checked at least 12 to 6 to 12 months before the sale, potentially, if you've got that lead time. Make sure that all those ducks are in a row, because you don't want to be going to your owners saying, hey, sign this, and then 2 months later sending them a letter going, I've just sold. That's a bit obvious, isn't it? And then obviously with your routine inspections, your rent reviews, your lease renewals, making sure your arrears are up to date, your maintenance is under control. They're the things that you really want to be knuckling down on in the months just before you're going to actually sell. But when you actually go out and you usually talk to a broker, they will give you a list or a checklist of what you need to make sure that you've got in place prior to putting that rent roll on the market, because you want to ensure that you're getting the highest possible multiple for that property.
So I like what you said, which is, have your rent roll ready for sale all the time. And that's probably something that we don't do in business that well. We wait until it comes to sale point, because the reality is the value is going to know if you've actually only just got that rent roll for sale. And so is the person who's purchasing it, and we'll talk about due diligence when we come back tomorrow, but just touching on it now, when they do their due diligence, they'll be able to see it, the timeframes and stuff. Is there anything else that you suggest we do in terms of the preparation? What about the people and your clients? Is there anything else we need to do there?
Yeah, so if you can keep your team in place, that's fantastic. And if the person purchasing the rent roll also wants to not purchase the team, but the team goes with them, then that's going to help you with obviously keeping your clients happy. Because with any sale of a business like this, you have these relationships with people. And when you send that letter or email out to them saying, we're going to be merging or selling the business to this entity, people get really nervous because you're breaking up with them. You've got a relationship. It's like having a husband or a boyfriend or a wife. You've got that relationship and you're saying, hey, I'm out of here. And now you've got these people looking after you. So it really does cause a lot of nervousness for your clients. So if you can keep your team on board for those transitional periods, I think that is the key to any successful rent roll sale or merge. I've purchased quite a few rent rolls over the years now and sold a couple along the way as well. And I haven't been able to take the property managers with us. So we had a very different structure when we integrated them into the business, which I'm sure I'll go through with you. But yeah, I do think that if you can actually keep those key people as part of it, it can really help with the transition.
Ellie, thank you so much for your time today talking about preparing your rent roll for sale. When we come back tomorrow, I want to talk to you about due diligence, because this is kind of what makes or breaks the sale, doesn't it? This is where we find stuff that's been buried and we hope never gets found. And unfortunately, it usually does. So I look forward to talking to you about it then.
Thanks.
Realty Uncut is part of the Realty Media Group and is powered by CoreLogic and Printforce. See all our shows, Realty Talk, The Property Show, Realty Uncut and Auction Update at realty.com.au, the home of property.